They climbed out once. Then someone sent them back in. 13 feet deep. No protection. And seconds later, the trench took a life. On October 23, 2021, a crew working for D. Guerra Construction was installing a residential wastewater line during a development boom in Austin, Texas. The hazard inherent in any open excavation is governed by the physical density of the earth being moved. A single cubic yard of soil weighs approximately 3,000 pounds. That is the equivalent weight of a subcompact car, suspended vertically by nothing but friction. When that friction fails, the collapse happens in a fraction of a second. The falling dirt moves too fast for human reflexes to register, and the immediate pressure crushes the lungs, making self-rescue impossible. Survival in an excavation relies entirely on preemptive engineering controls that prevent the soil from moving in the first place. Analyzing the D. Guerra site reveals a breakdown across every layer of the federal safety framework. OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, sets these standards to ensure a baseline of worker protection. We are examining the sequence of failures at the Austin site using a rigorous 10-question forensic evaluation. Industrial safety analysts evaluate OSHA compliance using the Swiss cheese model. Under OSHA Subpart P, the regulations governing excavations, safety relies on multiple overlapping layers of physical and administrative barriers. A fatal incident occurs when a hazard threads the needle through a hole in every single defensive layer simultaneously. OSHA compliance functions as an integrated defensive system, requiring adherence to every standard regardless of the project schedule. Let's begin the evaluation. Question 2. What is the primary regulatory violation of working inside a 13-foot trench with bare dirt walls? The answer is B. Operating without a protective system. The federal standard mandates protective systems for any trench deeper than 5 feet. This requirement is codified under 29 CFR 1926.652A1. CFR stands for the Code of Federal Regulations, making this a matter of binding law. To meet this standard, a compliant setup utilizes heavy engineering. This visual shows a trench box, a set of metal walls that hold back the excavated soil, maintaining a stable space for the crew. Question 4. True or false? A deep, unprotected trench is safe to enter if the workers feel comfortable with the soil's apparent stability. The answer is false. Trusting visual comfort is a result of the normalization of deviance, a phenomenon where crews routinely break safety protocols without immediate consequences, gradually coming to view a deadly environment as normal. Soil mechanics operate independently of human psychology. A dirt wall can hold firm for hours and then collapse without visible warning. Question 3. Who must physically inspect the excavation on a daily basis before any worker enters? The answer is C. The inspection must be conducted by a competent person, as defined under Standard 1926.651K.1. A competent person is a specific OSHA designation. This individual must be capable of identifying predictable hazards and holds the absolute authority to take prompt corrective measures and halt work. An excavation is an actively degrading environment. It changes by the hour as moisture evaporates and temperatures shift, demanding continuous oversight. Beyond the primary risk of cave-ins, the Austin job site presented overlapping secondary physical hazards. Question 7. What is the leading secondary hazard in excavations? The answer is B. Struck-by hazards. These occur when excavated soil or heavy machinery staged too close to the edge falls onto the workers below. Staging equipment on the edge creates a surcharge load. This additional weight pushes the vertical trench walls inward, increasing the probability of structural failure. Question 5. What physical environmental change triggers an immediate work stoppage? The answer is B. Water accumulation. Working in excavations with accumulating water is prohibited under Regulation 1926.651H1. When water pools at the base, crews must evacuate. The site cannot be re-entered until specialized equipment extracts the water and a competent person re-inspects. Microscopically, water acts as a lubricant, pushing soil particles apart, turning a rigid wall into a fluid mass. Any environmental change, especially water accumulation, invalidates previous safety assessments and requires a complete system reset. The presence of a worker at the edge of an unprotected trench points to a failure in the site's administrative controls. We have to examine the mindset of the crew. They were operating in a compromised environment, yet they continued to dig. Question 6. What foundational administrative citation was tied to this fatal incident? The answer is B. Digawara Construction failed to train their workers on how to recognize specific excavation hazards. Under Regulation 1926.21b2, an employer bears the duty to instruct every employee in the recognition and avoidance of unsafe conditions. Without this training, the crew at the Austin site lacked the ability to read the physical warning signs of the failing soil. This gap in hazard recognition connects directly to the tragedy. An untrained worker cannot exercise their stop work authority if they do not know the task they have been assigned is deadly. When management fails to provide safety training, they shift the burden of risk onto personnel who are unequipped to handle it. On the afternoon of October 23, 2021, the 13-foot trench partially collapsed. In this initial cave-in, they managed to scramble out and escape unharmed. Question 1. What is the mandated action immediately following a partial collapse? The answer is C. You must stop all work, reevaluate the site, and install a protective system before anyone goes back into the ground. Question 8. What is the most dangerous cultural phrase a Health, Safety, and Environment, or HSE, officer can encounter on a job site? The answer is C. Just get back in and finish. Despite the initial collapse, the workers were ordered back into the unprotected trench. Hours later, the walls gave way a second time. The soil buried both men, killing 24-year-old Juan Jose Galvan Batalla and seriously injuring his coworker. Treating a near miss as a minor delay ignores the physical proof that the existing safety measures have already failed. Question 10. What is the required response if a supervisor orders you to re-enter a structurally compromised trench? The answer is B. You must refuse the order, utilize your stop work authority, and escalate the issue to higher HSE channels. Question 9. What administrative failure occurred after the workers were pulled from the soil? The answer is B. Digawara failed to notify OSHA of the inpatient hospitalization within 24 hours, a requirement mandated by Standard 1904.39A2. The aftermath involved unprecedented legal action. OSHA levied nearly $140,000 in fines, and the Travis County District Attorney secured a rare corporate guilty plea to a criminal charge of assault causing bodily injury. For site supervisors, the mandate is clear. Re-entry requires stopping work, reassessing the hazard, installing protection, executing a formal inspection, and documenting the remediation. If you want to learn more about workplace safety and OSHA rules, subscribe to HSE Study.